The St. Petersburg International Economic Forum is taking place this week in the city. Many suggest this is a great venue for such gathering, as the city was originally built as Russia's window to Europe and the wider world.
In fact, the historic architecture in the city center, mostly Baroque and neoclassical buildings of the 18th and 19th centuries, conveyed Tsarist Russia's European outlook. But now the forum needs to look in other directions: the Middle East, Central Asia, China, India, Southeast Asia, and Africa.
Strolling along the Neva River, one could easily find the hustle and bustle of the promenade. But after covering the St. Petersburg Economic Forum for decades, I think it's important to go more than skin deep and try to find out what are really on the minds of the people.
So I spent an early afternoon with the assistance of my Russian fixers, standing in the middle of the street and walking into local landmarks, sitting at the street corner bench, talking to real people, hoping they will share their thoughts with me. And I was lucky. Europe can be found everywhere in St. Petersburg, said this freshman from a local medical college. Though things are becoming more expensive, it does not bother me, she said. Instead, she is more concerned about her exams in a few days than anything else. But this young man looks at things in a different way. He studies German language in the St. Petersburg University. He admitted his life has not changed as dramatically as previously envisioned in the past 2 years, but there are things that he wants to do now that are very difficult.
Do you want to travel to Europe?
To Europe, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah.
To Germany, to Germany mostly, and then England, and maybe Spain or Italy.
In the back of the minds of the many I talked to, there appears to be an underlying question about the future.
Even this young 13-year-old boy can feel it. Studying in a local military academy in Moscow, he is traveling to St. Petersburg with his grandma. He told me he and his classmates discussed the latest events.
In our military school, they show and explain everything about the special military operation because it's very important. We are the future of our country, and it's really important for us to know it.
The city of St. Petersburg is one of tourism. People here are used to those coming from all over the world, jamming the street and crowding the local restaurants, and even more importantly, mingling with the locals.
In that sense, things are very different now,
Never
said
change.
this man.
Maybe not so much tourists from Europe. Something new for maybe for the tourists. I don't know, like more concert in the square. I don't know.
I have to admit, it's a nice surprise that many of the people that I've talked to here in St. Petersburg actually have a China-related story to tell. For example, somebody's family members once worked in China, somebody studied in China, somebody's having a once-in-a-life dream of hugging a panda. You know, the stories goes on.
And some, like this engineering couple, even once worked in China for a few years and said it was an unforgettable experience.
I used to work in China. We used to work in China.
My sister was in China a few years ago for studying and for teaching Chinese kids.
As a signature event, the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum is a familiar occasion for almost everyone I met. While suggesting they are not interested in politics, they are not economists either, they do want to tell me that they do have questions to ask.
The most important question is, when are we going to leave the dollar?
In the next few days, on the sideline of the forum, I will be talking to policymakers, business community, and cultural and social leaders participating at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. not only to bring you an update about the forum, but even more importantly, how people are contextualizing all the changes of the world today. I'm Tian Wei from St. Petersburg.